Hi there. Welcome to the YouTube Live. We're going to go over the May events, and I'm just going to kind of get set up here. I need to make sure you all can see my screen, and I'm going to train you directly from Evernote. Just take me a second. Let me stop that mirror and adjust the screen here. So you can actually see what I demo. There you go. All right. I'm kind of limited in what you can do here in YouTube. It's not the same way inside my product. I have a lot more screen control over the video, etc. But welcome to this feature tour of what is new in Evernote for May 2026. And as a reminder, if you would like to ask questions during this live, you are welcome to do so. You just subscribe to the channel. It'll be a 1-minute delay, and then you can go and ask me your questions, and I'll leave time for Q&A and do what I can to answer them either throughout or at the end. I've got Kim here helping in the chat as well. So if it's an easy question, she might be able to get you the answer. And we're going to cover what's new in Evernote and from last month. So it's actually been a couple of weeks already since these features were released, but Evernote just launched their recap video last month. And I want to always teach you how we can use Evernote in our daily lives. And one of the ways is you guys can be recording this right in your Evernote account right now. So you're getting a transcription. So the way to do that is to simply hit record. Okay. And meeting recording. Now, a quick note. Literally yesterday, they updated the desktop client, and the meeting recording function has evolved. Okay. It's evolved for the better. It's something we'll cover in next month's review. But it may not look exactly the same for you, but you just go to the meeting recording and you'll see it starts to record. Like they've updated the interface, etc. The entry points are a little different. Again, it's all something that'll be covered in the June recap next month. It's something we cover live inside of my product. So we've talked about it there already, but this may be slightly different for you if you're not on the most recent client, okay, which is 10.21.5. All right, with that disclaimer, there is this going. I'm going to stop it because it's probably a little bit distracting for you in the interface as I train. And we're going to go into the actual feature update. So what I'm doing here, first of all, I'm Stacey Harmon. I help Evernote users make the most of their subscriptions, make the value far exceed the cost. I do that full-time in my own company. I am not an Evernote employee. I'm one of their Evernote certified experts. I have been for a very long time, and I am all Evernote almost all the time. So what I've done and what I'm going to do here is Evernote releases a feature tour every month. And about a week later, or as soon as I can, I will come in here and go through the exact features they discuss in their tutorial and give you a live demo. So their videos are produced and they're not in real time, and they don't allow Q&A. So this session will show you, the wonders and the flaws that we have to cope with on the feature. So just the reality of the situation, and I'm going to demo it for you live. And then obviously, as time permits, we've got the ability for you to ask questions in the chat. A little tip again, and second tip. So the first is the recording right here, but the second tip is that I want you to know that if you paste the URL for Evernote's YouTube video, or even this one, if you're watching the replay, into an Evernote note, you can rewatch it. You can watch it here. You can see it renders right in the note editor, and it'll be ad-free. So great way to kind of consume training materials and YouTube videos inside without having to watch the ads. So that's your Evernote tip. Even though it's not a new feature, it's always a good one. All right, let's start going through. I outlined everything that Evernote launched there. I did reorganize it slightly, but it maps pretty closely to what they said. And the first thing is a new kingdom or area of Evernote called the What's New page. So this allows you to discover what is new at the megaphone down here. So you can see my cursor down here in the left sidebar. There's a megaphone, and if you hover over it, it's what's new. So this is a great screen, especially for those of you that don't want to pay for Evernote education and you just want a little help keeping up with the new features. They have centralized, and first of all, it looks really pretty. Second of all, they've got a pretty functional centralization of their YouTube channel, their feature releases, and maybe one day even help in learning. We've requested that. I don't know if that will come or not. But we can see the release notes, the YouTube videos, that both their training and their recaps, as well as like the product update notes here. So you can see that you can have all updates. You can go to new features. You can toggle to just improvements, or if you want to learn, they are filtering it there. So really, really nice improvement in the app that fills a hole, which has been that users really had to go to their YouTube channel or watch the blog, that kind of a thing. Now we can just do it right within the app. They also, I love pointing this out here, they've centralized the process of reporting bugs. So if you notice a bug, it's now pretty easy to go here and report the bug, or you can suggest new features directly to Evernote right here. And then you can filter the updates. The example that they use in the video is like, if I wanted to learn about tags, and we have tags in the system, that you can see it's here. You'll notice each thing is tagged with an element right here that kind of maps to what the toggles are up there. And they keep it updated. You'll get a little notification when you go to the next what's new area. It'll clear the notification, but certainly a good area to keep an eye on. All right, let's keep going. Okay, the second new improvement are mermaid diagrams. And I'll be curious to hear if anybody is watching this that is actively using mermaid diagrams or has a use case for mermaid diagrams. I would love to hear it. In my community, it's not commonly reported, but I have a hunch that it maps to a certain demographic. Basically, it's going to create a visual representation of a flow or a diagram within your Evernote account. And it's an AI assistant feature as well as a note feature. So what I mean by that, before I give you an example, is here I can put mermaid diagram like this, or I can go to the insert menu and do mermaid diagram, and you would manually do it here. And you can see it's creating a diagram. The AI assistant's a little bit more powerful. It does integrate with that. And here we can open the AI assistant and ask it to create a mermaid diagram. And I'm going to I was so happy to see this in their video. They use David Allen as the example for this. And I am a massive David Allen fan. I do GTD in Evernote. So I was excited to see that. And I've kind of replicated the live demo here. So David Allen has 5 steps of mastering workflow. This is one of his core concepts: capture, clarify, organize, reflect, and engage. So what we could do with the AI assistant is say, create a mermaid diagram of this note for me, and hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to ask the AI assistant to do that. It's reading the open note. AI assistant will first prioritize the note that is in focus. That's just general across the whole way it works. And you can see here it outlines that, and then it gives me a option to insert it or to create a note. I can insert below or insert a cursor. Let's insert it below. Okay, so now I've got the code here. But the best part is the preview feature right here. Like, it just converted it into a map that's very visual. So there may be some use cases for you that you find really helpful with this, but it's now an option. Now, if you want, I can also generate an alternative version as a simple 5-step linear diagram. I'll say, sure, do that. Let's see what it does. Okay, so I'm going to insert that. You can see that's here, and then the 5 steps are there. Now, it also, I've seen it do prettier ones. Can you add color? Okay. So it's coloring it. Insert. There, we've got a little color. So this is just a new function that you can use. Like to the question in the chat, I mean, it's not a mind map. Potentially stay tuned for some things I know that they've got on their website. I'll show this at the end. They have a mind map feature that is not officially part of the app. I don't think they ever... Yeah, mind map. They didn't add it in, but we'll come back to that if there's time. It's not officially a mind map, but you could use it as a visual representation of data that's in your account, which I know sounds a lot like a mind map, but I don't think it's going to auto-generate those branches. So more a linear kind of a thing. Okay, play with that and see kind of what you think. And I'm interested to hear your use cases for it as well. Okay, let's go back to what is new. Those are mermaid diagrams. Okay, note editor improvements. So the first that's really, really cool are these call out blocks. So we have some new color options. We did, I think the month prior, call out blocks were added, and now we can add color to them. And the colors have been kind of updated. Highlighted colors as well as call out colors have been updated. So these kinds of things you've already seen me use. I'm using it up here. Notice this is nice and pretty. This is the purple. And then I have all of these color options. You can also change the option here, or you can remove the block entirely. So really they're just a visually disruptive, in a good way, kind of call out to bring your eye to attention. And you can use them in a bunch of ways. So I use this as a record reminder. I gave you a green one here, and let's just show it to you in action here. So I'm going to put this, say I wanted to make this a call out. So I'm running my Starting Fresh with Evernote Live Challenge next week. You can register now if you'd like, but here is how you do it. You just hit call out. And if I paste this, that's the default, right? But I can change this to, let's do this, a sun. I can put that here, and then I can change the color to say yellow, right? So this is the difference. I can bring attention to the content and have it there. Lots of great use cases for this. We're hearing all kinds of use cases inside of my academy where people are using this. There's some real strong genealogy use cases where they're using color to designate different types of categories or actions. So you could develop some workflows around that. They do support like headers as well. So you can put, if you want to link, so H2, it should support headers. It was, let's see, call out. Text. Let's see. Yeah, it does support headers. Okay. It did. Okay, it did. So I don't know if this is a bug or a change, but Evernote moves fast. It's nearly impossible to keep up. You may have noticed. All right. Instead of going down a rabbit hole with that, let's just keep going. One warning I want to give you that Evernote does not say in the video is that they don't, these, even though they'll appear in the light editor. So if you share a note with the public using the light editor function, which is up here. So one of these, the call out and the colors will reflect. If I go to print this note, you can see in the preview that the call out function isn't showing or rendering in the print. So you just want to be aware of that when you're designing workflows. I hope Evernote will change that. I mean, if they release a note editor function, I want to see it work in the light edit. I want to see it in the note editor, the light editor, and print. You can add it as a feature suggestion right here if you care deeply, like I do. I've told them already, but maybe there'll be the volume will help. Okay, that is your warning. But call outs, my users and customers are loving them. I personally like them a lot as well. All right, we also have new H4 headers. So that is now, we've had H1. So notice here, H1, H2, H3, and H4. So I rendered them here. They all have default sizes. You can override the default anytime in the notes area. You can choose a different size or color for the default for all 4 headers. Really expands what we can do in our outlining, and very nice feature. I know many users are quite happy about this as well. We also have a new type, the ability now. Okay, when you apply header formatting, you can see here it toggles everything that's under it, everything that's that is secondary to or subordinate to the existing header will collapse under it. Now we can do that for plain text as well. So this is a collapsible plain text option or toggle. So I'm curious how people are using this. I'm going to mimic the example that they use in the video, which is, say you have a summer prep list, okay? And let's just say you have shopping and you have sunscreen. So what they're saying is that you can turn this into a toggle. So shopping, I can choose toggle. And here's, now it toggles open and close. Now, that did not work exactly as I would expect it to. I would have expected this sunscreen to be under it. It didn't. I have to manually move it. But you can see here, this is just plain text. It's not a checklist. It's a header, really. So I could do this, and I could call this an H4. Then I would have this, and then I'd have just normal text. And I could have items under it, right? So sunscreen, and I want to buy a snorkel, okay, that kind of a thing. So again, toggle for any regular text. And then it'd be nice if it inherited all that, but I'm going to have to move it. And it doesn't have to be a checklist under it. You can put anything you want, but you can see that you can have now collapsible plain text toggle as well. Okay, it does indent it slightly, so that is another element and something to keep in mind. It's how the feature is designed, so you may or may not like that, but curious to hear the use cases that you are finding for that as well. All right, we also have slash commands inside list items. So what that means is this is a list, right? So you can see here, it's we have 3 list formats. We have bullets, numbers, and checkboxes. So now I can, I can type different elements to add to a bullet. So if I want to italics or change the alignment, any of these items, I can, if I want to insert an image kind of a thing, I can do that right here, right? So that's the image that I've got. I could put it right here, and I can toggle that select it, right from a note, or right from the list. Now it's being fickle. It won't let me select and resize that. Notice that? It's, yeah, buggy. I don't like that. Okay. Well, it's not working as expected. I'm just going to delete it. All right. In theory, though, that's what happens. The slash command inside of list items. So that's been often requested. Moving on, those are the note editor improvements. Now we have some search area improvements as well. So we can delete recent searches. So if you look at your search here, and these are recent searches, I can now hover over it and close it out. So if you don't want to see those, just simply delete it and it will go away. We also have what's called kingdoms visible from the search bar. So these are, if you don't know what a kingdom is, that's Evernote's term for these major button groupings that are over here, as well as kind of this what's new area. These are all considered kingdoms. It's kind of the internal vocabulary that they use. It's not frequently used out in their public communications, but that's what we refer to them. And it helps a lot because calling them a button or a section, that's sort of true also, but kingdom is the official term. So when you're in the search bar, now we have kingdom access up along the top. So I could filter directly to notebooks down here from the search. So it's really a navigational element, which search, quite frankly, is. You're trying to navigate to something you're looking for. So nice function and feature enhancement right there. All right. Where did they all go? This note's edit history was compacted by the server. Okay, never seen that before. This is why Evernote doesn't do live demos, probably, but wow. Okay, let me quit Evernote. Come back to it. Sorry about that. Okay, it says my notes preserved, so there you go. All right, I have never, ever seen that before. I will ask about that as soon as I can. All right, moving on. Delete recent searches, Kingdom Access Bar. Right-click a results note to copy the link or open the note in a new tab. Okay, so they're just making search a little bit easier. So if I went to do a search for Evernote and I'm seeing this here, I can right-click to open the note in a new tab. Okay, nice. So just what I call these micro efficiencies are getting a little bit easier. So they're giving thought to how can we make things just a little bit quicker for users and giving them access at the point of where they find or edit a note is kind of a common theme I'm seeing across all of these. Okay, so we can copy the link to the note or open the note in a new tab through this. So let's see if I do 5 steps of, okay. I can copy the link, which will create a note link. Super helpful, right? So if I want to just search and then go back here and paste, I can do that. Really nice. And then I showed you open a tab in a new window. I don't like that. Okay. At least they're telling me. Okay, I'm going to revert the changes. All right. We also have improvement to tabs. So tabs is a feature up here that many users are really enjoying. We can now open a new tab via this plus button, and it will move right to search. So they're assuming that when you create a new tab, you want to open something new, right? Or you want to open something that's already in your account. So they are taking you directly there. Notice they do have a create new tab option right here as well. Create a new note. So you can generate a blank note, or you can navigate directly somewhere in your account. Again, another micro efficiency I think is super helpful. We have a new navigation shortcut. Also, if you have multiple tabs up here, depending on if you're a Mac or Windows, the command's going to be slightly different. But notice right now I'm on this pin tab. This they consider tab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So just like in other apps, we now can navigate to those using the key command. So I'm going to try it. Control Command, let's go to 3. Okay, I guess it considers the pin tab number 1. So 1, 2, 3. Control Command 5. That conflicted with another. Let's try this. I'm sure that was user error, so don't say it's not working. You saw it work the first time. Control Command. Oh, I did the wrong thing. Okay, Control Command 1, Control Command 2, Control Command 3. You can see up at the top, it's changing. There's 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go back to 1. All right. Really nice efficiency for those of you that like keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts, power user move. And if you're using tabs a lot, that's a good way to kind of navigate quickly. We also can reorder pin tabs. So let's just say I pin this tab and I pin this tab. You can see I now have 3 pin tabs. If I want to reorder them like that, I can drag and drop them. Mermaid LL colored now is going to be over here. If I move it over here, you can see it's first here. Okay. New functionality, very intuitive and a nice improvement. All right, audio transcription improvements. Okay, this highlights one of my current frustrations with Evernote. So this is a problem. I will bring that to Evernote's attention. Okay, so search improvements. Where was I? All right, what they've said is that partial transcription is now available on mobile. Okay, that may be true, but already as of the last release, like yesterday, transcription changed and it's auto transcribing. And now I don't know how to, oh, there it is. There's the time range. Okay. You may or may not see this. They have the gripe I have, which I'm trying to express and educate all of you on, is it moves so fast that by the time I'm trying to change on it, train on it, the interface has already changed. So like I didn't even get my arms around it working. And then I went in today to try to demo it. And because it's auto transcribing as of the version I'm training you on, I didn't have the ability to get this speaker recognition. So for example, up here, oh, it didn't auto transcribe. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Again, the behavior seems to like ebb and flow. It's like they beta test things and they're in an active rollout of this new version of recording. So clearly it's not consistent in its behavior. But if I want to transcribe, so it's transcribing the whole thing. Like in this case, I don't know if you noticed the nuance, but I couldn't pick just a portion of it. In theory, you can. And now they're saying that this function of partial transcription is available on mobile. So in this one, take it with a grain of salt. I can't prove that it works in both places because in the version I've got, it's auto transcribing. It's not giving me a portion, but in theory, it's part of the app now. All right. They also have some new supported formats, OGV and .opus. So if those audio formats are important to you, you now can get your audio files transcribed. And then the final features that they cover are AI features. We see AI features in almost every iteration and new improvements in nearly every release. So it's super hard to keep up with what's getting added. This is kind of a summary of it. Their own documentation, which now obviously you can get to in the down here in the megaphone area, the what's new area, does a really good job of telling you what is currently available. So I would refer you to that if you want a comprehensive list. In the Academy, we just recently did a training that updated members on, what are the functions that are available in AI Assistant. But as of the next version, I'm just going to leave that up there because I don't want it to refresh. Note actions where you can delete and restore are options. I'm not going to demo it because I'm getting this message, but you can also create, rename, and delete notebooks. And there's a prompt suggestion here. So because basically what they're saying is there's notebook interaction now. Come on, click and copy. Copy. So let's try it. I have no idea if this error is going to keep me from doing it, but let's see. If you want to use, because it has notebook level interaction, it you can do some organizing and brainstorming with the AI assistant about your notebooks now. So you can see here that it went through my notebook list and gave me some ideas, gave me some naming convention options. And this is obviously applied to a actual account, even though this is a demo account, different than kind of what they show in the video. Okay. And some ideas about how you can interact with it and ask it what you can ask it. Okay, we can drag and drop attachments into the chat. Let me pull that up and show you an example. So here, I've got this image. I could put it into here. Drag and drop is supported, so you can add that to the context of your conversation. You may or may not want to do, it doesn't make any logical sense in this particular case, but you can see that the function definitely works. And then open drafted content in a new note in a new tab. All right, so back to our mermaid diagram example. It created content here, right? So I can open drafted content in a new note and in a new tab. So when I create new note, it's going to create it in a new tab and auto include it there, which is an evolution of how the feature worked. All right. Let's go back to our note here. All right. This is really the big announcement this year, in last month, is AI memory. So this really kind of transforms how the AI assistant can be used, because now we have like an umbrella level memory that we can apply across conversations. Okay. And by the way, to features that they've already released this month, like AI prompts. So AI prompts will be part of next month's feature release, but they were just released yesterday. Or feature recap next month. They were just released yesterday, and AI memory is going to help both prompts and the AI chat to adhere to your personal preferences, right? So you can trigger it by simply asking it to remember something. So the examples they give in the tutorial are, my name is Stacey. So it'll remember my name is Stacey. So I think I've already got that in there, but I'll show it to you. If you have personal language preferences, they show that. And more. So like I could tell it that I run this challenge, and the trigger is the word remember. So remember, I run the Starting Fresh challenge with Evernote. Training for non-technical newcomers is not always for newcomers. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. It's for anybody who's got a lot of a lot of notes in their account, and they feel that it's cluttered and want to kind of organize it. But if I prefer it to be jargon-free, they'll save it there. Then if you look here at your settings, and you go to AI preferences, which are down here at the bottom, and you go to personalization, you'll see that it has remembered that my name is Stacey. So at least it'll address it. I did that previously to just showing it to you. And then it added this new context that will influence all conversations I have with the AI chat. Okay. And then you can institute asking AI to remember something here too. I want you to remember something, and then it'll give you some ideas. Okay. Now, in practical use case, this is the one I'm using. I find this really helpful, which is a naming convention. So this is a use case directly for my account. I'm using it and I love it. So in the AI preferences here, I have one that says user prefers receipt note titles in the format of month, day, year. If you're in a different part of the world and you want it to be reversed or different order, you can set it however you want. And then the vendor name. So here's how that has actually, I'm glad I'm not doing this live because it doesn't look like it's going to let me. I took a screenshot here. So what I'm doing is I'm forwarding my receipts in that I get. Okay. Then I am clicking this little AI regenerate title icon that appears next to the title because it's inheriting the title. And because I have this memory set, when I click that, it's then renaming it to the format that I requested, and it's normalizing all of those for me. Okay. Now I just had an idea. Like one of the things you could test is maybe I can add to that memory an action and have it always move to a receipts notebook. That's something that ultimately the AI should be able to do. But this right now is saving me like incremental micro moments, and I'm really, really liking it. A couple things to keep in mind that there has to be for this AI title rename feature to work, there has to be at least 250 characters in the note. So if you're uploading just an image and see that as characters, this works because it views all that content as characters. Still, very nice feature. All right, AI settings. I just showed them to you, but they've been updated to reflect the full scope of the AI features in the app, and they can be toggled on and off as desired. So I'll remind you how I did that. You go to your settings here, settings. You go to AI, which has been promoted, and you can see that this is a growing list of preferences. By default, all of them are turned on. If you care to opt out of any of the AI features, you can do so here, and you can do it on a one-by-one basis. I coach you to read them really carefully because they tell you very plainly if your data is used as an internal AI model or if it's being sent out to a third party. And if it's being trained, it's never used to train AI models. So just read what's on the screen. This is their policy in summary. And then the personalizations here, and you can see a few other details as well. Okay, so that keeps growing, and they have reflected that in the AI settings area. All right, I'll get to your questions in a minute. Before that, they did preview a couple of items on coming soon. So I'll cover those here. Some of them have actually already been launched as of the latest release, but this is the big news. Evernote's MPC, their model context protocol. They already talked about this several weeks before, but it is almost being ready to be released to those that have signed up on the wait list. Okay, so I think all users will see it shortly. If I had to have my best guess, and again, I don't work for Evernote, I'd say it's going to be within the next month. I can't tell you for sure, but I hope so. It's coming. It sounds like there's momentum around it. Their public communications seem to indicate that as well. So be on the lookout for that. If you care to sign up for the wait list, you can go to that URL to do so. They also said that auto captioning mentions for entities and mentions for people are coming. Already they're here. If you download last night's release or yesterday's release, we have these, and I'll cover them in next month's new features recap. And then they hint deeper AI integration. So they don't say what, they are coy and say more is coming. But it's not surprising to me to see that. Every single release, as I previously mentioned, has some kind of AI iteration on it. And that is certainly the direction that they are heading. And if you're struggling to keep up, you're not alone. You're not alone at all. And if you're not using all the features, it's okay too. You know, I try to highlight, like I said, select features like this. Like this is proving really, really functional for me, but I'm using like that and AI transcription notes, and the rest of it, I'm just kind of letting it sort out. And I'm adapting real life use cases as it makes sense for me. Okay. So just because they have something, you're not missing out if you're not using it. We do talk about all of these things inside my academy, and lots of good use cases are there as well. But it can be overwhelming. So I get that. All right. Q&A. And while I do that, just a couple of details. If you enjoyed this, I've covered a lot of these features in my free weekly newsletter in a written format. So I do kind of on the free side, I do that free weekly newsletter. There's lots of people on my list forever. So lots and lots of education there. Just sign up at harmonenterprises.com/newsletter. And then I am running my Starting Fresh with Evernote Challenge, which is designed to help those of you who have collected a lot and not organized it, kind of reset your account to a fresh, clean baseline. I walk you through my 6-step process. We do it live trainings. You get access to the recordings for 2 weeks. It's designed for people who can participate now, take action, and have a result because they took action. So you also get access to the community where you can ask questions, the Starting Fresh with Evernote Challenge community. So I kind of monitor that and coach you along. And I'm running it live next week. So it's still time to sign up for that if interested. And if you miss it, I may do another one in the future. I hope to. So will announce that to my newsletter list. Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and look at your questions and see what you got. We'll go from there. Let me look. I'm going to stop sharing my screen if I need to reshare. Just want to be able to read your questions. All right. Let's see if there are any questions. Okay, so we covered if the mermaid diagram was the same as a mind map. I mean, there are some features there. Let's see. Doesn't look like any. Does Evernote have a flashcard mode yet? So no. You know, actually, flashcard mode, they used to have like a third-party app back in the Phil Libin days, like way back in the day now, like over 10 years ago, that was kind of a flashcardy kind of a thing. So that's not, but it's not something that once it was retired, it's not come back into the app. So there you go. However, so you're not going to flip through. It's not what Evernote's built to do. You could use OpenNote in its own window to isolate and prioritize kind of what is there. That's really your only option. Okay. Would love to see the ability to embed a note link inside a task. I've only found the reverse works. Yes, that's right. I agree. And let me look at the app again. And I'll share my screen with you in a second. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen because this is off talking new features, but it's going to be part of next month's release. So under the release notes for the current 21, rich editing for task descriptions with headers, bold, italics, underline, strike through list links. So they're playing in this place, although it's not what I want. And I don't think it's exactly what you all want. I think what you're asking for is you want the note link up here. What we really want is, let me just demonstrate what users are really wanting. Okay. So this is a note that I want in my task. Okay. So I'm going to copy the note link. I've just copied it to my clipboard. When I paste that here, what you want is for it to resolve and be like a mention and have it go and hyperlink directly to the note. Okay. It does hyperlink. It goes to, but it's not pretty. It's the long, ugly permalink. That's not what I was hoping was in the iteration. Instead, you can paste it here, or I can put text in the description. These formatting options are new. And then I could link to a note in theory, like this, go like this, there, apply. I mean, that's buggy, kicking it back that way. Let's see if it works. Okay, so you can see here, then can I link to a note? Yeah, so it brought up that site can't be reached. So, I mean, it's a really rough deployment if you ask me about it. It also is 24 hours old. Now, arguably you could say, well, it should have been released working. I see that too. But that's what's possible right now. And hopefully that helps you to see it. So let me reread the question. Would love to see the ability to embed a note link inside a task. Have found the reverse work. So you can do it in the title. It's just long and ugly. I'm hoping that the innovation that we're seeing from Evernote, even with this release, that we'll cover again in the next month when we talk about the June recap and evolution. Hopefully it'll stabilize by then and you'll be able to see some innovation in that as well. Okay. MCP is a big deal for me. Without it, I'm leaving Evernote to get my work done. I'm excited to hear it's coming soon. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I told them flat out, I'm like, you have to do an MCP or people are gonna leave. I mean, I can feel it, like how what's happening with MCPs is pulling my own attention out of Evernote primarily for the first app in 15 years, right? So like I'm starting with Claude versus Evernote for the first time. Now, not all the time. Evernote's still essential to me, but this MCP is going to be a game changer. We'll absolutely talk about it. It's already a huge topic inside my product, inside the Academy. And certainly there'll be even more and more. But what I'm loving is the MCP is going to hopefully be able to allow me, what I want is all the stuff I'm creating in Claude. I want to be able to just save it to Evernote. So that will be really nice because Evernote's my collection point. And it's coming. More to come. We'll talk about that. All right. Do you know if Excel will be able to be used in the AI assistant in the future? Our currently only CSV file is just easy to save, but would remove a step. I have no idea. I don't know. I would suggest that to Evernote if that's what you want. I mean, I can't imagine that it would. I think that an MCP is going to be more of your opportunity there, is to use Claude to work with Excel and Evernote and have it kind of go back and forth. I don't really know, though. That would be something to ask Evernote. Okay. Yeah, and regarding the flashcard, so there's been some additional discussion about Evernote's flashcard options, which there isn't one, but yeah, you could use toggle. You could use headers. You could use the new text toggle function. So yeah, I mean, this is the type of thing that we do all the time. It's like this hits at what my core philosophy is about productivity with digital apps. None of them are perfect. None of them have all the features you want. You need to pick and stick and go deep with your app of choice, right? And if Evernote's your app of choice, I can help you to work with its opportunities and its constraints to reach a solution that's close or gets you what you're asking to do. So the flashcard's a perfect example. They don't have a flashcard feature, but through talk and brainstorming and iteration back and forth and ideas, we are able to come to an option that uses the Evernote app for what the user wants to do. So yeah, that's a perfect example of kind of what happens all the time when you get around a bunch of other people that are excited about Evernote and use Evernote fully. All right, let's see. Looks like that might be the end of the questions. All right, so I'll do this again next month when Evernote releases their YouTube. Certainly watch it, but then I hope we'll invite you to come to mine, which hopefully happens within a week of Evernote's, and I'll give you a tour of kind of what's going on with the app and what is new. So until then, if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you will be notified of when the next YouTube live is, and I hope to see you then. Otherwise, join me in the challenge next week. I would love to see you there, where we'll walk through kind of resetting your Evernote account to a clean, fresh baseline. See you next time. Bye.